Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Astronaut Gaming. Today we're going over one of my favorite decks in Expanded. It's not the most competitive deck out there, but it is really fun. It will catch people off guard, and I think learning how to perfect the deck has been a really fun, exciting activity for me. But let's get into it. The engine of the deck here is Cinccino with the Make Do ability, discard a card, draw 2. We are also pairing it 4/4 line, pairing it with a 4/4 line of Zoroark that has the Phantom Transformation ability. Once during your turn, you can choose a stage 1 from your discard pile, swap it with Zoroark. And so it basically gets you an unlimited stream of whatever stage 1s we want. As long as we can set up a new Zoroark every turn, we have exactly which stage 1 we need. So let's talk about those stage 1s. The centerpiece, the key to this deck, Naganadel-GX, which is a stage 1 even though it's a GX. Stinger. Both players shuffle their prize cards into their deck, then each player puts the top 3 cards of their deck face down as their prize cards. The reason this is important is that your traditional game plan with this deck is that you are going to be sacking prizes, letting your opponent go down to 1 to 2 prizes. Then, once you've set up your board, you've set up your deck to have exactly what you want left, you evolve into Naganadel, use Stinger GX, and that way you've gone from 6 prizes down to 3, and your opponent's gone from wherever they are back to 3. It's an even game. If they take a knockout on the Naganadel, that gives you 1 turn to take 3 prizes. So there are a couple ways we do that. Raticate with the Super Fang attack, put damage counters on the defending Pokemon until its remaining HP is 10. Then we can do that last 10 damage with Poison. Another great attacker we have is Dewgong. This is our backup attacker. Dual Blizzard, you can discard 2 energy from this Pokemon, and the attack does 60 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. And you would use this in a situation where you can use that 60 damage to take 2 knockouts on 2 small HP Pokemon. You'll notice all of these attacks cost 2 to 3 colorless energy. So we have the triple acceleration energy, which gets discarded at the end of the turn. So you only have 4 of these. There's no energy recovery in the deck. That means you need to be very careful about when you're attaching and when you're discarding these. Our last 2 stage 1s, we have one Alolan Muk, which locks basic Pokemon abilities. It can auto-win some games, and is also just generally helpful against whatever weird stuff your opponent might bring out in the expanded format. And the last stage 1 is Ariados. It has the Poisonous Nest ability where you poison both active Pokemon as long as they're not a grass type. And this is level ball searchable as well. So those are our stage 1s. Let's go through the rest of the Pokemon. We have one Ditto Prism Star, which can evolve into any stage 1. Really helpful. Means that we don't necessarily have to use Zoroark to switch it out. We have one copy of Exeggcute, use Propagation. It says once during your turn, if this Pokemon's in your discard pile, you can put it into your hand. How the game rules work is that once you place this Exeggcute into your hand, it becomes private knowledge, which means once you discard it again, the game doesn't know, technically, if it's the same Exeggcute. So you can use this propagation ability unlimited times, basically as many times as you can discard it in a turn, which is really helpful. The other basic Pokemon, we're playing one copy of Dedenne-GX to use the Dede Change ability, discard your hand, draw 6. We don't use it very often, but it's helpful in a pinch. We have 2 copies of Jirachi-EX, a star in this deck. It has the same ability as Tapu Lele GX or as Lumineon B, Stellar Guidance to search for a supporter. The reason we play Jirachi is that it has 90 HP, so you can search it with Level Ball. Then our last Pokemon here is Jirachi Prism Star, and this is the other part of how the deck works. With the Wish Upon a Star ability, if Jirachi is in your prizes and you draw it as a prize card, you can place it onto your bench and take an extra prize card, which means that if you take 2 prizes on your last turn, but one of them is a Jirachi, then you get to take 3 prizes that turn. And so that's what we're doing with Naganadel. We're taking 3 prizes, either by taking a 2-prize knockout with Super Fang or with Dual Blizzard, and then using the Jirachi Prism engine or just by taking a knockout on a Tag Team GX Pokemon or a VMAX Pokemon that gives up 3 prizes. So that's the Pokemon engine. We showed off the 4 triple acceleration energy, and now let's go through the item cards. So for our A-Spec, we're playing 1 copy of Dowsing Machine. It's the best A-Spec for the deck. If you don't have Dowsing Machine, I would not play the deck. Battle Compressor, search your deck for 3 cards and discard them. This is really helpful to get rid of our stage 1s, as well as get some of our supporters in the discard. Late game, after we have done our Stinger GX and they take a knockout, they're down to 1 or 2 prizes, we're still at 3. This Counter Catcher is what enables us to win the game. It gives us a free Lysander Boss's Orders as an item card, and then allows us to use a different supporter on our final turn, and we'll get to that in a moment. But we are playing 1 copy of Field Blower, 1 copy of Hypnotoxic Laser to induce poison damage, 4 copies of Level Ball, 2 copies of Pokemon Communication. Since we play 27 Pokemon, we will almost always have something to work with here. We're playing 1 copy of Quick Ball. This is just another way to search out some of your basic Pokemon, like Dedenne-GX, but also including every one of the evolving basics that you're planning to use throughout the game. We are also playing 1 copy of Rescue Stretcher to shuffle Pokemon back into the deck. You are getting knocked out almost every turn, so the Stretcher becomes necessary at some point during the game. 1 copy of Scoop Up Net. This is a huge hero card in the deck. If you start with Jirachi Prism, it allows you to pick it up. If you play down Jirachi-EX, because it is not a V or GX Pokemon, you can use Scoop Up Net to pick it back up, and then that way either the 2 prizes are off your board, or you can play it back down and reuse the ability. Great card. 4 copies of VS Seeker. We only play 1 of supporters with 1 exception, so we want to have access to all of them in the late game. We're playing 2 copies of Sky Field. It helps us to get a pretty wide board with all of our Cinccinos, with our Zoroarks, but it also gives us an extra bench space for Jirachi Prism if we need it, and it means that we are disrupting our opponent's stadiums. Now let's get into our supporters. So we have 1 copy of Guzma to switch your opponent's bench with their active, either take a knockout or stall. 2 is N. N is just a really good shuffle draw because it can be disruptive for your opponent, and for most of the game, it's going to net you 6 cards. So it's consistent, it's easy, use N. Peonia, this is what we ideally want to use on our last turn of the game. The way that we get our Jirachi Prism into the prizes is have it in hand, have Peonia in the discard, and then VS Seeker for Peonia. We put the Jirachi where we know that we can draw it, and then use that to take our final prizes. So Peonia, you always want to get that into the discard so that you can have access to it late game, and so it doesn't get accidentally shuffled into your prizes with Stinger GX. Our last couple supporters, we have 1 copy of Pokémon Ranger, removes Item Lock, and it removes ADP's Altered Creation GX attack. 1 copy of Teammates. If we get knocked out, it allows us to search our deck for up to 2 cards, and this is an amazing supporter since we're getting knocked out almost every turn. After we do a bunch of make-dos, it allows us to search out whatever piece of the combo we're still missing. And then this is another reason why the deck works, 2 copies of Winona. You will not see this card very often because it's not a good card outside of decks like this. Search your deck for up to 3 colorless Pokemon, reveal them, and put them in your hand. And this is what we want to use turn 1 and turn 2, probably every single game. It allows us to get our Minccinos turn 1, potentially a Ditto, and then turn 2, it can help us get more Minccinos or just fill out our board with make-dos. And so if you can get 2 to 3, potentially even 4 make-dos running on your second turn, you're in a very good spot to take the game. But that was a lot. There are 22 one-ups in this deck, so it does get a bit complicated, but I think the best way to learn is just by jumping into the game, so let's get to it. Looks like we might be up against Mew based on the sleeves, but we have an excellent opening hand. So we have Battle Compressor to get stuff in the discard. If we want to use Winona with the Jirachi, we can do so. We can also do it with the VS Seeker. Their Fusion Strike energy prevent things that happen from abilities. So if there's a fusion energy attached, we can't use Ariados, but we can still poison them with Hypnotoxic Laser and take the knockout with Raticate. So first turn for them, let's start with a Compressor. Get rid of the egg every time. What do we need in the discard? I mean, it would be great to have that, but I think the supporters are actually more important. So let's grab Winona. Yeah, we have N. No, I think let's get Peonia and then go back and put the Raticate in this. Well, actually, could put Muk. That might scare them, but it also doesn't matter what they do. we're running our own solitaire game. So let's Winona. And then next turn we have the S-Seeker for Winona. Sure. I think early game triple Minccino is always good. 1, 2, 3, Zorua, and pass. Because next turn we have triple Cinccino, and that way you don't have to use your Ditto on a Cinccino. It's okay to use a Ditto on a Cinccino, it's just not ideal. Old Cemetery does absolutely nothing. Marnie. Interesting. Marnie in Mew. I'm guessing they only play one. I wonder if they play the S-Seekers. I mean, they probably don't need to. Well, we do have a level ball for Cinccino. We have a Jirachi for the other Winona if we want it. I think that might be a better play. Because it doesn't matter if we sack prizes. They're going down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that gives us a couple turns of triple Cinccino. They can't Psychic Leap all of their 2 prizers away, so this seems good to me. So I think the plan will Jirachi into triple Cinccino, and then 2 turns from now, or 2 turns after this next one, 3 turns from now, we are going to go into our Naganadel and then go from there. That way we'll be able to burn 6, at the very least 18 cards deep, but probably more, given all the different draw cards. So let's say we burn like 24 down, then that would get us to 15 cards. Plus our 3 draws per turn, 12 cards, and that is exactly the range that we want to be in. Are they going to shuffle it? No. Okay. Promote Jirachi. I'll play down Jirachi. And let's grab the other Winona. And triple Cinccino, start discarding. Right, there's 1, 2, and 3. Might as well use the level ball now. We can get something we don't want, like the Ariados. If we had a second battle compressor, that would be great, but with all those Cinccinos, I don't think we need it. So we'll do our first trade, get rid of the Ariados. We can use the Quick Ball, get something out of our hand, or out of our deck, and then do our second trade with Cinccino. I guess get a Zorua. Because I would love Scoop Up Net Zorua or a Sky Field. Because they can't get rid of all their 2 prizers, so I'm not concerned about that. Which means that all I really need is keep these in play, get a couple Zorua down so they can't keep sniping the 1 Zorua that I play every turn. And last one. So we have the 2 Pokemon we would want. Make do. Okay, we get the Sky Field. That's great. I love that. So I'm going to play that down. And I don't want to play the Ditto because that way I can have it next turn. I think we just pass here. We've done our make dues, there is nothing else we want. So we'll just let them go down to 3 prizes, take the KO on this Jirachi. They will probably not bump the stadium, but that means that we have a chance to do so with our own Field Blower on the following turn. So by giving them the Sky Field, it allows them to draw through their entire deck, gives them all the outs they need. The reason that that is okay is that they can only take 1 prize, or 1 knockout a turn. So basically whatever I'm feeding them, that's what they're knocking out. So I can control their prize map. And that is one of the strong things about this deck, is that for the most part, you get to control their prize map. And it allows you to maneuver in ways that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. Powerful energy? Really? 20 more damage. I don't think that is worth it. I would rather play double colorless and fusion energies. I'm not sure why you even play psychics, honestly. Maybe 1 psychic. But I presume you should just be using cross fusion strike every turn for expanded, since you have the opportunity to do so. So let's... Are we going into Zorua this turn? Well, let's promote it either way because we have our Ditto. Okay. We don't want the Guzma, so let's drop the Guzma with our first make do. We have the net, that's great, that's great. Gives us an extra turn, since we keep this 2 prizer off the board. Okay, and we can level ball, get another Zorua, because I do want to draw into those, but I don't need both of them. So I might as well use the level ball now, just so it's out of my hand, out of my deck, and that way I can use Cinccino to just draw more cards. Because really all we're trying to do is just burn. But burn selectively. That's why cards like... You won't see cards like Acrobike and other things like that. I might as well bench the Ditto since I didn't find what I was looking for. I'm going to hold on to that. And yeah, I'm going to net the Jirachi. And then we will pass. And so next turn, what we need to do is get the Naganadel in the discard and go into our Nag. And from there, we should be able to take the game. We have Peonia in the discard, we have Jirachi in hand. We also have multiple 3 prizers on the board and Counter Catcher. Cool. So we're set up to do what we need to do to take this game. So let's start with... I'm gonna communication, put the EX back, and go get ourselves the Naganadel. That's really all we need. And we can start trading those away. Trade, or make do. We don't need the N, trade. Okay, and now we might as well triple Zoroark, no reason not to. I think we're good to go. I'm gonna attach one of these to the Nag, I think. Because it doesn't matter, I have a second Float Stone, so yeah, let's Stinger. And so next turn we have VS Seeker Peonia. The reason I didn't play a supporter that turn, if they do like N or Marnie again, I want as many VS Seekers in my deck as possible so I can hit that Peonia. Hitting the Jirachi would definitely be a problem, but we can still do it. Cross Fusion Strike, they'll be taking 2 prizes, and then we go into Raticate, Ariados, and take the game. Okay, cool. So we don't even need our Jirachi shenanigans. Raticate. And we're getting the dub against the Mew VMAX deck in Expanded, which is pretty exciting. And there it is, 310. Big Mew VMAX, arguably the best deck ever printed, fall into a little baby rat. Okay, and we're up against a Cramorant deck. This might be difficult. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the Winona now. We have Guzma and Peonia Ranger teammates double Winona. We have most of our Cinccino line. We are prizing 2 Zoroark and 1 Zorua. We have our egg, Ariados, Dewgong, Nag, Compressor, Counter Catcher, Dowsing. We have our laser. Okay, we have most of the things we need. So let's see what they're able to do. If they can take a knockout turn 1, that is alright with us. This continuous gulp missile is a pretty scary attack in most situations, but given that pretty much any amount of damage will knock us out, we are fine with that. The thing that I am concerned about, this deck probably does not play any multi-price Pokemon. So I need to see how much HP these Arrokuda have. Okay, they have 60 HP. If he's discarding all of them every time, then we're in a bad spot. We can potentially just KO this Cramorant. Or maybe I double Dewgong. Okay, I can Dewgong twice. That works. So I think my play, I need to Zoroark into a Dewgong, Dewgong the Cramorant and the other Cramorant that he's going to play down. And then that way after I GX, after I GX, I can then double Dewgong again and take the 2 prizes plus Jirachi Prism. Means that we're on a bit more of a time crunch, but we can definitely do it. We have Winona this turn. We have VS Seeker for Winona again if we need it. We're not in too much trouble here. They are taking aggressive prizes, which is good for them, but we'll just go triple Minccino and pass. And they're gonna pick up the Arrokudas with Rescue Carrier. An amazing card for this deck. How much are they doing? They're doing 240 if they discard all of them. When they hit us with a Marnie, Marnie is a little rough, but at least we got our benched Pokemon down. We got all the things we needed. So we can promote a Minccino, hopefully we evolve it, but worst case, we'll be okay. We have the Dowsing Machine for Winona if we need it. Again, not ideal, but that is okay. The thing that I do need down, though, is I need to get 2 Zoruas down. So that's my goal this turn, is start make doing, and then get 2 Zoruas down. If I get 1, I will take it. If they bring up the Zorua to kill it, I'll be pretty sad. So what don't we need? The Field Blower, I don't think we are ever going to need Field Blower. We definitely won't need Sky Field. So let's get rid of those 2 and grab ourselves the Winona. I'm going to go ahead and get 2 Cincinos plus the Raticate. I don't want to discard either of these. Yeah, not a great spot. I don't want to discard either of these cards. Or maybe I just go triple and get rid of the communication. Yeah, you know what? That seems better. Let's just go triple Cinccino. So they're going down to 2 prizes after they take this knockout. So let's start with make do, get rid of the communication. Next, get rid of the Raticate. Great card to draw into. And now this is a little shaky. we definitely need to play the Zorua. We definitely need that. Stretcher I feel like is too valuable, which means that energy is the play, but that's unfortunate because we're going to need multiple energy. So on our next turn, what are we doing? I guess we're just doing and hoping to hit Zoroark Dewgong. Sure, I'm fine with that. Sky Field, we don't want to play Sky Field because it gives them more outs. 70 HP on the Jirachi, we need it to have 60. And they'll go ahead and Quick Ball. What does the Jirachi do? I didn't even read it. Look at the top two cards and pick one of them. Okay, I'm not very concerned about that. Double Cram. So I'm gonna promote Zorua this next turn. I really need Zoroark plus Dewgong and an energy. So I need a lot, basically. If I could hit the teammates, that would be amazing. And I do hit the teammates. But I don't want to get rid of any of these cards in hand. So I guess I just have to drop the other Sky Field. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever need that Sky Field then. So I'm going to drop the Sky Field. And we hit the raw teammates. Incredible. So that's why you do that before playing Jirachi. Okay, so let's teammates. Yeah, teammates. So I mean, what I need now, I need compressor, energy. Compressor, energy. And then I have VS Seekers for next turn. Okay. So let's compressor, get rid of Dewgong, our Nag, and then I'm gonna say an N for next turn. Because we don't have an amazing hand, so I'll take the N. I'm fine with that. How many more energy? We have 2 more energy after this, which is all we need. Okay, we'll do that. I will Rescue Stretcher, bring back the 1 Zorua, and play it down onto the bench. Because next turn we need to go into our Naganadel. So Phantom Transformation, let's go into Dewgong. Attach here, and then Dual Blizzard, and there we go. Now the thing that they could play that would be really awful for us is a Scoop Up Net, or some sort of healing. I don't think they do, so I'm not too concerned. This is a really interesting deck though. Nessa bringing back all those Arrokudas. So Continuous Gold Missile. We do have the teammates if we need it. We have teammates or N. Depends off what we get off these make do's, I think, or what we're able to draw into. Okay, so we draw the Zorua. That's actually incredible. Teammates N. So what do we need? We need Zoroark, energy, and then just a lot for next turn. I think I'm gonna go the teammates route. So let's drop the Jirachi. Level balls are fantastic, so I'm gonna Exeggcute, and then we can use those level balls for things that we want a lot more. Okay, and now we can go ahead and get our level balls. We need the Ditto, and maybe Minccino, because we know we have 1 Cinccino prize. Yeah, so we'll start with Ditto, play that down. And that way we have our 2 Zoruas next turn, they can't disrupt that. Get a Minccino. And then our teammates goes for Zoroark energy. So the one thing I can't get is Peonia, which is pretty sad, but we can just hope it's not prized. I'm going for Teammates. We have the Jirachi in hand. If Peonia does get prized, we are in a pretty bad spot. Probably should have discarded that earlier, but that's okay. Zoroark Energy. Let's Zoroark evolve into our Naganadel. And then use our GX attack. And this is pretty fun. So we'll Stinger, put ourselves to 3 prizes, put them to 3 prizes. They will be able to take the knockout on our active, almost assuredly. Or yes, because they have 2 Arracudas, they need a third. Oh, I don't think they can hit it. I think they need to KO something on the bench. That's very interesting. They would need to Sky Field or a Scoop Up Net. If they Scoop Up Net, I think we just lose the game, because then we don't have the double knockout with Dewgong plus Jirachi. But you never know, right? We could always... Well, how many energy are gone? 3 energy are gone, so no, we can't always do something. They will get rid of the Ditto, that makes sense to me. So I'm just going to promote the Nag, attach Float Stone. And so there's really only one out for us, and it is not a good out. So let's start with Make Do, get rid of the VS Secret. We'll evolve into Zoroark. You always attach this. Yeah, because if I'm Guzmaing, I go into the Zoroark. Laser, I don't know. We'll just Propagation. What we might need to do, if we are able to hit a Communication off of this Make Do, I think that would be perfect. In Communication, the Jirachi into the deck. Quick Ball, Ariados, get a Zorua. Peonia is in deck, but I don't think we have it. Darn, that's too bad. We have Counter Catcher. We could Counter Catcher N. I suppose that's an option. We don't have that, so I'm gonna say N is our only bet, is that we N and then they miss. Okay, and so maybe retreat into the Zorua, because then they go down to 1 prize. Yeah, let's retreat into Zorua 70 HP, so they need 2 Arracuda anyway. Yeah, we'll retreat into Zorua. We will only need 1, because we're using Dewgong. And so all we're looking for... Oh shoot, they get the Nessa off the end of 2. That's okay. All we're looking for then is our energy and Peonia. So they discard 2. They still can't KO Naganadel in 1 hit with the Lucky Egg attached. So this is not exactly what we want. Both our Jirachis are gone. You know what I think actually what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the Jirachi in deck. We're gonna Dedenne this hand away. And then hopefully just hit what we need. So let's Dedenne, drop the hand. Okay, we hit something. I think we can get it this turn. Today, yeah, I have the Scoop Up Net. Okay, great. Then let's level ball. I don't think there's anything left in deck that I need. Oh, I need the energy. That's what it is. So we can use our second make do. Just get rid of the Cinccino. Doesn't matter. We'll go down to 0 cards in deck. Now we can Peonia. Go ahead, put our Jirachi in the prizes. So Jirachi, card number 1. We don't need Guzma, we don't need Ranger. And now we get to retreat into our Zoroark. Go into Dewgong. Energy, Net, and Dual Blizzard to take the game. So that was pretty close. They were able to put on a lot of pressure, but not quite enough. We were able to get it with the double Dewgong, which is pretty exciting. So Jirachi, Wish Upon a Star, put that down, and get our last 2 prizes. So that's all we have for today. I will go ahead and link the deck list down in the description. I definitely encourage you to try it out. It's a lot of fun. Take some time to practice with, take some time to master, but it is one of my favorite decks that I have played in the expanded format, and I think this is fantastic for ladder, for the in-game events. And you can even take it to tournaments, and if you have enough practice, you can do pretty well with it. But there are a couple potential changes to the deck. I'm going to put some cards up here on the screen next to me. The first one is Garbodor. You could go ahead and swap that with Ariados. It gives you an out against grass types, but it's not level ball searchable. So I'm keeping the Ariados for now, but I'd be open to that switch. The second one, adding a second copy of Battle Compressor. It is just really, really good for our consistency. So having a second copy to get it early, turn 1, also allow us more outs to supporters with VS Seeker. The next one is Marowak. This counters item lock pretty well. It forces your opponent to bring it out from the bench to knock it out, but you can always just evolve right back into it with Zoroark. The question with all of these is it worth it to include this one tech option and take away a different tech or take away a little bit of consistency? So that's why I don't have it in the deck right now, but I could definitely see you adding it in the future if item lock is really relevant. Another big weakness of the deck is spread. If you're worried about spread, Mr. Mime is the best way to go. It has 70 HP, which means it's the best of the bench barrier Pokemon for this deck. And the last one I'm considering right now, I don't think you need it for ladder, but against more experienced opponents who try to play around your strategy, you could also play one copy of Echoing Horn. Echoing Horn means that if they don't play down any multi-prize Pokemon, and you're actually unable to get that big knockout on your last turn, possible depending on the deck, then Echoing Horn allows you to bring back something that you can knock out from their discard pile. But that's it for the deck. If you have any other interesting ideas or inclusions that you would make, definitely let me know below in the comments. I know that everyone says it, but please do like and subscribe. It makes a big difference to me. I'm just doing these videos for fun, but I would love to be able to share my content with more people, and that allows me to do that. So thank you again for watching, and I will catch you next time.